Hi, I'm Gozer, and this is DoW4 gameplay. Yay, yay. Finally, we get a RTS game that isn't made by two guys in a shack. Isn't that nice? I mean, I don't have anything against that. If you are making RTS games in this day and age, my heart goes to you. I completely support your efforts. Actually, right now I am helping with one guy in a shack make his game called Liquidation. Check it out. It will soon release this summer. Okay, since this is practically my first video, how about few words about myself? I can humbly call myself an RTS veteran. I played them since I was like 12, so it's now over 20 years. And the first RTS game that I played, believe it or not, was Warcraft 3. Yeah, the bar was set very high from the get-go. I am a fan of 40k, but I'm not a fanatic about it. I know more than I should about the lore of this universe. But basically, the more I read about it, the more disappointed I was. Someone who sometimes reads books, like in my opinion, the potential of the universe is a little bit wasted. But that's just my humble opinion. Don't worry about it. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not that type of a guy that will be like, "Oh my God, a special tank!" You know, that's not me. I'm here for the sauce. I'm here for the gameplay, for the game within the game. Okay? I'm not even gonna talk about some of the fans because they are they are something something annoying. Um, but anyway, let's do it. Come on, boys. Let's crump this gameplay.
Next up is the Adeptus Mechanicus
Hello,
versus
Elliot.
Necrons, two highly advanced factions with radically different battlefield philosophies.
This matchup leads heavily into
Hello,
map control
Jan.
and technology. The Adeptus Mechanicus excel at fortifying positions.
They are showing a lot of stuff already, but I will start talking when they will start playing. So,
Building powerful bases and churning out armored firepower, while the Necrons are relentless, durable, and capable of turning slow pressure into overwhelming force. Okay.
okay, so first things first. What the fuck is this map? This doesn't look like a normal skirmish map. This looks like something they pull out of campaign. Because from whichever side you will look at it, it's not very symmetrical, is it? Huh? And you know, the multiplayer skirmish maps usually are symmetric because that makes them fair. So I don't know what's about that. By the way, I noticed that there was no victory points on the previous map. So I asked about it on the Discord server, and someone nicely pointed out to me that there was actually showed off the victory points game mode in the trailer for the Dawn of War 4. There is a whole 8 seconds of it. And well, I was troubled when I saw the map from the first gameplay video because it looked like it wasn't really made for victory points game mode with how the resources were set up. But then I saw the map and it was the same map from the gameplay. I will put it on the screen. Uh, in the victory points, the things that you capture, the objectives, right next to the resources. And you know, usually you don't want to do that because when they are like next to each other like that, you put a lot of importance on those points. Basically, you want to spread the importance of all the points around the whole map. You don't want to have 2 points like in here taking up a higher priority above everything else, because this will end up with players just focusing on those two corners and ignoring everything else. Like, you will mostly have two scenarios while playing. Either one player will take both, will win the initial battle for both of them, and then the other player will be fucked. Or one player will take control of one corner, and the other player will take control of the other corner, and then the 20 minutes of war for the central point will ensue, where one player will have more units because of the requisition, and the other player will have more vehicles because of the energy, which most likely will mean the one with that's able to produce army will win. You can go check it in other games, Company of Heroes or other Dawn of Wars, even the first one. The points there were always like spread in a grid. They always had some distance between them to not make it as easy to control everything, right? But maybe it will work out. Maybe it's just one of probably many maps. I don't know why they chose this one for this video. I bet they have others. They must have others that would be more representative. But okay. The second thing, this writing over here, work in progress, not final quality. That's the first thing that we need to look at, because a lot of the stuff can still change. However, it's 2 months till the release. Let's be honest, there won't be no massive changes. There might be some polish, there might be some details changed, but the general gameplay will stay the same as we see it now. Okay, something that triggers my tism, as we can see here straight away, is this build menu. Because compared to the other build menus that we've seen in Orcs and Space Marines in the previous gameplay, they had a nice division between production buildings and defensives, right? In the first space you have the HQ, then you have infantry production, then you have like better infantry production, and then you had vehicles, and then you had a research building, right? And below that you have the defensive structures, your turrets and the super units in case of orcs, the Gorkanaut, right? And now I'm looking over here and I realize, oh, that was accidental. Because over here we have HQ, we have barracks, other barracks, maybe vehicles construction. I guess this is the research building, and then we have a knight. Suddenly it's not up, suddenly it's not in the down, it's up. This is not like a big problem, but you know, it's a detail, and the devil lays in the details, right? And as we will see with the Necrons, that is also not standardized. Because I'm pretty sure those 4 structures are also just defensive structure. This is the rear, this is turret, this is probably cover. I don't actually know what this is over here. In the corner between the settings and the subtitles icon on the YouTube. Compared to the previous gameplay, also we can notice that there are only 3 stratagems, as they call it, those global abilities that your faction can use. While in the first gameplay we could see that Orcs and Space Marines had 4 of them. With closer inspection you could notice that 2 of those skills are because of the commander, and 2 of them seem to be just the faction ability, right? That you always get. While the first and the third one were dependable on the commander that you choose. Now here, maybe just in work in progress, or maybe not. Maybe you just get 1 skill for the commander, which would be rather weird. a bit of a lack of consistency. But maybe they will add it. Maybe they will add it. I don't know why they are not talking about it, to be honest. They should talk more about the things that are not ready or that are buggy. Because if you will notice here throughout this gameplay or with the previous one, they didn't use any cover. They didn't build any cover for your units, for the infantry. Because in my assumption, a rather strong one is it probably just bugs out. The units probably like melt with the cover or something like that. So they decided to not show it off yet. Generally speaking, I feel like they could talk more about the game. Like they're doing their best explaining the faction, but there are certainly some details that we're not informed about, and we probably should be. By we, I mean people who care about the gameplay and care how it will play in multiplayer. But we will get to that. Another thing that they are not talk about is that we are starting with defenses. As you can see on the minimap here, Adeptus Mechanicus site has 4 little squares on the minimap. What are they? They are turrets. So that's quite surprising. You start the game with rather good defenses. Basically, that prohibits any kind of rush strategies. So if you are a player that you like to rush their opponent from the minute one, I'm sorry to tell you, but you don't exist in this game anymore. But those are like surprisingly strong defenses, because if you can see on the minimap, even you have a turret right next to the PowerPoint that is further away from your base, and it's already protected. I mean, it's not this one over here is not that far from this requisition point, so you have like 3 easy points to conquer, like from the get-go. But maybe this is something you can turn off in the options. I would be glad if if it was. Compared to also the Space Marines, we can see that the Adeptus Mechanicus starts with 3 units, while they only had what are they called? They are scouts. They are Space Marine scouts, whatever. You have a builder, you have 1 rifle unit, 1 and 2nd rifle unit. Straight away, this is like a big advantage, because you capture points with infantry. So the rate that you get the resources depends on the number of your units. Meaning, Space Marine can send 1 unit away to capture points. Mechanicus can send 2 straight away, and those are 2 points captured straight away. A little bit unfair. I don't know if the builders can capture points like in DoW4 3. I'm guessing not. So at least there's that. Okay, let's allow Jan to explain how the Adeptus Mechanicus works.
Welcome back to a new multiplayer match of Dawn of War 4. This time I'm playing the AdMech.
And I am playing the Necron.
Okay, first maybe let's talk about the Necrons a little bit. Nice dummy text. Some problems with loading in. As you can see, as I've said, they also have only 3 stratagems compared to the previous gameplays. And as we can notice, they start, I guess, with 2 warriors and 1 scarab, because those warriors looks like they just left the HQ. Also, something about the stratagems. As you can see, they have the same meter like Space Marines in the previous gameplay, that they fill up probably because the devs didn't talk about it much. You fill it up with killing and dying, and then drop one of the abilities. I'm kind of surprised. I would expect they would have something different for each faction, to steer the gameplay into a different direction and make it more varied. But okay, that works. I mean, so for now only orcs have the WA, and the more WA they have, they unlock the stratagems and they can just spam them. The only thing that's holding them back is their cooldown. Interesting, interesting. Maybe I should make the video about the first gameplay anyway. We will see.
And AdMech, very different from...
Okay. Um, uh, so there's few things. But first, interacting with a new RTS game, experiencing it is kind of like if you are buying a house, you are touring it with a realtor, and everything seems fine, okay, the kitchen, salon, other stuff, and you go into the one room, and suddenly you see, well, why there are all those lamps on the walls, um, and the realtor tells you, oh, it's just because there is no electricity here. So what you need to do is just light up manually all of those oil lamps to have your room light up. And you're like, no, what? Why? Oh, we just thought that is better this way. We didn't really think about it much, or something else. And you're like, that can be. That can be right. Do I really have to buy this house? And then you look outside and you see that the other options are aforementioned shacks, like beautiful shacks, but well, the quality varies, to be honest. But you're still like, but I want to live in a house made with a brick and cinder. Oh my god, is this my choice? So what I'm talking about here now is that what you are discovering are problems that were resolved years and years ago, and they shouldn't pop up anymore. Right? In this example, it might be just, I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest, because it kills my mind a little bit. What I'm talking about are keybinds, because as you can see over here we have the commander and we have the builder. And here is research. And if you remember from the building menu, there is no keybinds. There is no, like, if you will go back, not that back.
I'm playing the Necrons.
If you will see here, there are little letters in the corners. What do they mean? It means that if you press a key on the keyboard called your units will retreat. This action will activate. And
AdMech.
And we don't have them on unit production, or buildings, or research, or the stratagems. And I asked about it on the Discord server and didn't get any answer. I'm assuming they will answer it during the AMA that they will have at the end of the month. It's just wild to me. Like, how long is this game in production? Like 5 years or something? And you want to tell me throughout these 5 years they were playing this game, they were testing it, and throughout this time they weren't using keys on the keyboard. They were just clicking icons, clickety clack. Like, I'm pretty sure there's something that you start to conceptualize when you start to make the game, how the interface will work. This is just baffling, to be honest. I hope to God that by the release time comes, that this will be added for everything in the game, for the research, for the buildings, for the units, for the abilities, and for the upgrade system that we'll see later. But okay, let's drop this for now. Let's move forward.
AdMech, very different.
I ain't moving anything. I ain't moving anywhere. So in the previous gameplay that they told us about the research and how it works, and how it works is that you don't need to spend any resources. The only thing it takes is time. And they justified this by saying that this will make it a choice, that you will choose which research you need at the moment, and you have to decide and you will have to decide based on what is going on the battlefield, right? Or do I need to make them tougher so they survive longer in melee because you are fighting orcs, or something else? Maybe I need a servo skull that is also a toaster, so my skitari are very well fed. You know, adapt and overcome. Uh, the problem is, as you just seen the second ago, he ain't choosing jack shit. He just clicked both icons to queue up the second research, and that's it. Because obviously, that's what you would do if they were available for free from the start. Like, you are wasting your time not clicking it, right? Not researching it from the get-go. Like, this might change in future, but all of them seem to have only 90-second long research time. So that's not that long. That doesn't feel like a weighted choice. It feels like you're wasting the opportunity if you are not researching it straight away. Like, this would make more sense if it was global, you know, you choose this one research in this building and then can't choose research in a different building. But no, you can start it in this one, in the HQ, and if they will drop the barracks or anything else, and then they can start researching that building. And from what I see, they are all unlocked with time, you know? So you have a steady progression of unlocked research that you just queue up. I don't think there's any choice in this. And as the holy truth always says, games are just series of interesting choices. So I understand the idea behind it. You know, you progress the development of your army, you upgrade them, you unlock new skills or something, while you also produce your units without any problem. You only spend your resources, the requisition in this game, on producing your units, while you also research the research. I also always thought that upgrades, the tiering up or whatever, should be a separate from producing your units or building buildings. I always thought it's the best if you are paying a special resource for those upgrades instead of what you are using for unit production. As you know, the default priority list in RTS games is first, build an army, second, expand and gather more resources, and then on the last place, taking up. I never liked that. I always thought it would be better if you could adapt and overcome through research, allowing you more flexibility during the match, not only with how you use your units. I think that military progress and the technological progress should go alongside each other simultaneously. This allows for more flexible gameplay or more varied gameplay. So I understand the idea, but the execution is not there, in my opinion. But this is something that can change. You can tweak the numbers, you can make them globally exclusive, you can do many things with it. I hope they will. Let's move forward for now.
From Space Marines that I played before, I have a lot more units, much quicker. So, you know, I can expand a little bit more aggressive. And also what I want to do is, with the Data Smith, these guys, that are the builder units basically, I want to build up a...
Well, that's interesting. No one else has builders. Why they do? I mean, it fits like thematically. They are the cyborg robo boys. They love build stuff, but design-wise, I guess because building for them is more important for other factions, but I would argue about that a little bit. So, being able to kill him will stop them from building more structures. Also, if you can notice, he has this little icon over here of the trailing. It means that you can attach him with this icon over here to other squads, like a commander. And that will actually like make him kind of safe. So it will counter the whole idea of him getting killed. I guess this is why we don't have hotkeys for buildings yet, because they don't know what to do with this situation, because you need to have him attached to a unit and be able to build buildings at the same time. So with those keybinds being on the actions, you don't have very much room left to put the buildings on, unless you will combine them, like make a shift and something else to put down a building. I mean, they could just do that in general, assign a combo hotkey for all the buildings and for the production. That wouldn't be as handy as just have one key, but it would be better than have no keys at all. Also, this unit attachment panel over here is a bit of a waste of space on the UI. Like 90% of the time it's on screen, it's useless. You only see. I was wondering what is the bottom part of it for, and it shows you the upgrades that the attached unit has. The unit, the unit that the commander is attached to. I think this could be done differently, but it's not that much big of a problem. You could have like a toggleable vision between the commander and the unit is attached. Maybe move this button over here and just make the stances smaller because it's rather obvious that those are stances. You have the aggressive stance, defensive, and the passive one. You see an enemy, you chase and shoot. You shoot back when they attack you, but stay on position, and then you do nothing until ordered. I'm quite confident about that one. By the way, the keys are assigned to the actions. You can easily detect that they are using the WSD for controlling the camera as their default setup. That will make some people happy and some people very not happy. I personally like to treat RTS games as the action games they are, so the WSD key scheme isn't a problem to me as long as the interface supports it. And from what I can see here, it is a little bit awkward. As you can see, the attack ground action, the most important one, is set on Z. Don't know if I would choose that key for that. Well, let's hope the game will be available with changing the keybinds from the get-go. And also, this bothers me too a little bit. This is the changing the weapons they are using, meaning they will either by default attack you with shooting or chase you down and attack you in melee. I would prefer if there was other than changing the stance, I would prefer if there was also just a key separate, like it was in the previous games in Dawn of War 1 and 2. I don't remember in 3. That just allow you attack in melee action. You just click that and click on the unit and just attack them in melee, but the shooting was still the default one, right? That would be a bit more comfortable. I also don't know what this 15% mean and this crossed shield. I know this is armor and armor penetration, something they don't talk about, and I feel like they should. I don't understand why they don't. This feels like a important part of the combat. But anyway, let's let him talk.
Newsphere network. So basically, whenever I build a
Newsphere
building,
network.
I try to make sure that the next building is.
So yeah, this is the production, another production building with more specialized units. No tanks though. So maybe the third one is the research building. Maybe it produces vehicles. Well, I hope this is not something that produces units, because that would, that would piss me off a little bit.
Within the network, because what it does is it makes the network stronger, and a stronger network means because what it does is it makes the network stronger, and a strong within the network, because what it does is it makes the network stronger. Within the network, because what it does is it makes the network is within the network, because what it does is it makes.
Okay, I was able to do that first time. You've seen nothing. So we can see what exactly this amplifies. Greater benefits to structures within the Newsphere network. Unlocks research. And it just lists the research. Well, it doesn't talk about the...
Makes the network stronger, and a stronger network means, buildings produce for cheaper, or,
Okay. Let's go back to
and
that.
a stronger network means,
Okay, so I see the explanations and the details are separate. You see, when you click on the barracks, you get the production cost, and over there you only get what research and technology it unlocks. Okay. I feel like it should be compounded into one info box. When you hover over it, there is 10, if you can count, phases. And from what I can see, it's kind of not exactly perfectly drawn, but let's not focus on that much of a detail.
Buildings produce for cheaper, or turrets fight harder, stuff like that. And so, yeah, one of the big things I want to do is build this Newsphere network.
Indeed, indeed. And
Indeed, indeed. And what I want is for... Well, first of all, I like the whole idea of the Newsphere network because it gives purpose to the way you build your base, right? I don't like when you just mindlessly put down buildings around your HQ and that's it. There is nothing more to it. So this system will give you a little bit of a SimCity experience that everyone loves while building their base. What I would want from devs though is tell me that I have hallucinations, or maybe there's a interface error or something, because as you will later see in the video, the relays that they are using, the buildings to connect other buildings, are adding points to this Noosphere meter. That's not good, because what it means is that when the player will be pressured and won't have space to build, they will just... It's probably like the cheapest building, so they will just spam those relays in a nice spider-like web. And you see, I believe in a blessed matrimony between the gameplay and, let's call it, lore. If they cooperate together in a healthy relationship, this allows you to immerse yourself in the game, right? And, spamming relays would kind of break those immersion, right? As adeptus are mechanicus, as guys who keep everything measured to a T. Yeah, it will make less important to connect to the resource points. I feel like that should be the most important. I love the animations, by the way. Everything so far from the visuals looks really good. I don't really have any complaints in that regard, but I don't really care that much about graphics, to be honest. If everything looked like a game from PS2, I would be fine. I would be fine with that too. As long as the graphic is stylized, I see no problem, you know. Also, I wouldn't have to buy a new graphic card for like 5 grand or whatever fucking insane number they are reaching now. Anyway,
So yeah, one of the big things I want to do is build this new sphere network.
Indeed, indeed. And as for the Necrons, my primary objective, what I want to do is I want to spread the power matrix, which is this funky looking effect that you can see on the terrain here. It is spread, as you can see.
okay. So convergence of dominion. I was wondering why the name sucks ass, but then I realized that's an actual piece from the tabletop game. So thank you, GW, for that. Something like Dominion Pylon would roll out of the tongue a bit more easier. A little fun tidbit for you.
By every or almost every Necron structure. So Necrons don't need every or almost every spread, as you can see, by every or almost every Necron structure. So Necrons don't need power or requisition or all those other things that the vermin species require in order to host their armies. We have only
Okay, wait. No, let's
one
finish.
resource, and it's called Dominion, which is earned by spreading this power matrix. The further out we spread it, the more we earn of it. The power matrix also grants additional.
Okay, wait, do that. So, so cool and interesting idea on paper. What I'm afraid you will get is 20 minutes of playing whack-a-mole. Why? Well, you need to spam these buildings opposite to the points, meaning they will be spread around your whole territory, right? And as it will be talked about later, you have ways to defend them, of course. You have your turrets. They will later mention that your basic turret is able to teleport. That's nice. But generally, you are using slow forces. They can't quickly travel between points. Also, as you can imagine, enemy units won't just die right away as they being shot by your turrets, right? So what I'm afraid will happen is your enemy will get like Squeakhawk boys in orcs, you know, the fastest, somewhat tough unit, and just run past your initial defenses into your deeper territory and just destroy your buildings, your resource producing buildings inside. I think that will be quite annoying. You will be given tools to protect those buildings, but I don't know if that will be enough. What I was thinking about it, why I don't like it, and then I had a realization that almost killed me. This is basically the economy system from Battle for Middle-earth 2. And I hate it. And I hate it so much. It was such an annoyance. It was so annoying. Because like here you had to spread your resource producing buildings across the terrain, right? And with how they were spread, they were vulnerable to attack. So the enemy AI or just player will just send one guy to destroy one resource producing building over here and then the other one on on the other side, and they will just keep on sending them, and you will have to keep on swatting them away like flies. I much more preferred how it was done in the first Battle for Middle-earth, so you can guess which mod for the second one is my favorite. basically you will be playing dwarves, but at least they could travel between their minds. Here it works differently, as you will later see. Also a fun experiment you can do. You can find a Zerg player from StarCraft 2 and lie to them that Blizzard will actually change it in a patch that you will only now gather resources from spreading creep. And then watch how their hands start to shake. Jesus, they would start dying of the micro-induced stress. I like how it looks like the power grid. As far as I understand, it's not supposed to look that lore-wise. You know, it's like some blocks coming out of from under the ground because it's Necrons. They were always here, right, for millennia, and now they are being unleashed. But I can easily guess that would be like technological nightmare and made everything bug out. So, you know, I can't blame them for just making a texture that just creeps around the ground. Also, another assault on my neuroatypicalness. Um, this is even worse. We have, as we can see, we have here in the build menu the HQ, the unit production, the resurrection gallery that we'll see later and talk about it. And then we have small turret, big turret, and then we have the Dominion pylons. Why? Why they are not in the lower bar? Come on, man. Okay, let's go forward.
Bonuses to our units on it, so they.
Yeah, you you probably should like mention also why what in this case the resource points are doing. If you get your dominion from your buildings, instead of forcing people to hunting down the perfect frame, where you will see in the description that the requisition speeds up the training, while the power, I'm guessing, speeds up technology, because I couldn't be fucked to find that frame to see what it actually does.
Gain improved HP generation, they regain members faster. All Necrons basically automatically heal slowly over time.
Cool.
And we can.
I like that. Oh, do they also get a higher speed? But I will possibly play Necrons just because I don't have to fuck with the reinforcements. I should talk about this too, but maybe in a minute.
Speed that up as long as they are on the matrix. So that gives us a big advantage in combat. So the further we can.
Here you can see. Prevents enemy capture and reduces unit production time. Yay. Also look at this. A turret. Straight away. In a critical position. Like perfectly defending this corridor. Yeah, I hope that we will be able to turn it off.
Spread out. We do hit a maximum at some point for our Dominion, but with
at some point. Thank you for this detailed information, Mr. Elliot.
This, it can still benefit us greatly throughout the match.
Right, and I assume these 3 points here will probably be very contested. So what I'm trying to
Morgan Freeman voice, they weren't very contested.
do now is basically spread the network to the points, because this helps me in 2 different ways. First of all, my network grows, which is good, because this helps.
Yeah, as you can see that +1. Extends Noosphere network, strengthens the Noosphere network. You need to remove that second line, please, God.
Me in 2 different ways. First of all, my network grows, which is good, but also then when I build turrets there, all the turrets become much more powerful.
Indeed, I already saw that you are trying to take this point on, so I've sent some scarabs out.
Yay, they're zooming in, yay!
To fight your rangers.
Yeah, scarabs very annoying. They are pretty fast, can fly, and not super easy to kill, and so they are the best like harassment unit in the game, I would say. And of
they should have been used much more than they were. Okay, let's talk about the units for a moment. This little summary over here is very nice, If you would select barracks and then hover over the portrait of the unit, and a little box would pop out, and you would have this little description. However, I would much more prefer if over here we had a detailed description, numbers for their attack. Why we don't see that? Where are the numbers? The numbers, Mason, where are they? Okay. We like some other stats as well, like where is the line of sight? Where is the speed of the unit? We have HP, thankfully. We have the armor and armor penetration that hasn't been talked about and how exactly it works. What are the percentages and all that? Why do I harp on about the interface? Well, you see, RTS games are overwhelming. Period. Okay? No matter how much you think some real-time strategy is simplified, it still is a category higher than any regular shooter. Okay? You have a lot of plates to spin in every game. This is overwhelming. This requires from you multitasking. You need to learn that skill. So the interface, the user interface, UI or HUD, head-up display, is how the game communicates with you. And you need any help you can get from the game to help you understand what is going on, what are those people, what are they doing right now, okay? You need information. You need this to be comfortable to use. In my humble opinion of an RTS expert, I believe that you should be able to interact with the game like without clicking any icons. The cursor should be able to be focused on controlling what is going on the screen while you're using your other hand to control all the other stuff. Okay, the production, the research, the abilities used and the upgrades. That's why I'm talking so much about the hotkeys. And for example, if it's about the comfort of the playing and quick access, every time that someone puts the keybind on something past the 5 TGB border on your keyboard can go to game design hell. And I don't know, design mobile games for like 2 years. So maybe when they will come back from that, they will now understand why it's so nice to have everything under one hand. After designing games that can be operated by fucking primates. In my opinion. Okay? Okay, let's go.
Of course, as always, he managed to get the Necrons into melee combat with my range units. And my rangers are much stronger than Scarabs in range, of course, but if he managed to basically bind me into melee, then I struggle because I can't use my best weapons.
And people will be like, oh, the time to kill is too high, I mean too low, they die all the time. Now, meanwhile, you look how many of them is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Skitari are shooting like a few scarabs and they're just floating away like nothing is happening. I'm not an enemy of higher time to kill, but come on, there is certain ceiling where it just becomes ridiculous.
One thing you may have noticed is that the Necron units are generally quite powerful, but not particularly mobile. And the main way that they get around this is through teleportation or translocation technology. The main way that they do that is through the use of canoptic spiders that they can build through the canoptic foundry, which creates tomb pylons. These spiders that they can technology. And the myth is that the Necron units are generally...
Oh, I was wrong. This isn't HQ. This is Canoptic Foundry. Does this mean that they can't build HQ compared to all the other factions? Or is the second building is HQ? Oh my god, please don't tell me. Don't tell me that. I will be tweaking. Uh, never mind. Forward.
Quite powerful, but not particularly mobile. And the main way that they get around this is through teleportation or translocation technology. The main way that they do that is through the use of canoptic spiders that they can build through the canoptic foundry, which creates tomb pylons. These can be placed anywhere on the map, and as soon as they are placed, you can put units in the reserve, placing them into the tomb citadel, and then deploy them from that reserve to any tomb pylon on the map.
Right, and as you can see...
Right, so as you can see, as Elliot said, you need to sacrifice your tomb spider for that. Question: why? Why this is not a normal building that we can just build like any other? Why is it necessary for me to make a strong unit and then throw it into fucking hole so I can get a building that is kind of necessary for me to defend my territory, as we talked about this earlier? That's something that I still need to think about. I like the whole idea, putting the Necrons in reserve and dropping them around the structure is kind of similar to the Space Marines, and they drop us, but more limited. But it fits it fits the theme of the faction, right?
And then deploy them from that reserve to any tomb pylon on the map.
Right, and as you can see here, my user network is growing and growing, unlocking all...
Yeah, clicking all the research and just queuing it up like nothing.
Sorts of research, because,
Oh yeah, a funny little detail. So as you can see over the buildings, you have the bars, the progress bars, and that show you that something is happening inside. Wow! Thanks for that info. I wish I knew what without clicking the building. I don't know if I mentioned before, but there is that game called Liquidation, and in that game, when you have you're producing something in a production building or research something, you see the production bar that basically alongside the health, right? The health bar together. You see them right away without clicking on the building. That's very useful. That's something that I believe every other RTS game should copy. By the way, this little text over here produces basic infantry, produces commanders, creates a noosphere network. Cool. I can see that with my eyes. Why do we have to have this here? Why won't we instead have this space empty, so when you hover over all those icons, you have this text that pops up over here? Wouldn't that be nicer? Wouldn't that be better? In my opinion, I think it would. Who designed this interface, man? Can I talk with them? Oh, also, what the fuck is this? This bar at the bottom. This is not production queue. Like, you can see the research going, the time going over here. And here you have units. So what is this? What's this hand? Is this to cancel the production? Then why it's so far away? Why it's not here? My God. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not the fan of the UI. I am okay with this. I like this. I like how it looks. And I don't think very highly of people who don't. It's like very arbitrary to not liking the fact that you have a nice list of units and present it to you all the time. I think that's one of the few good things about this interface. Something that I don't like about this is, however, this bar. As you can see, you can move it. You know how bars work. I'm not going to explain that. Jesus Christ. It's a scroll bar, right? Okay. But why do we see it already? we don't have more units than this panel can show. So why we already have that? But shouldn't it like appear when we have too many units, and then we can like scroll to see them? That's a one problem. The other problem, I don't want it to exist. I don't want this bar to exist because this is not very handy, right? I would very much prefer if instead this panel just leveled up and was expanded higher, and we had two rows, you know, instead of one that I scroll through. Maybe the icons could get smaller, like by one third of the size, so you can take up less space. Also, good thing I noticed. I think I'm gonna cramp myself, boys, because what in the fuck? It's I know those videos are edited, but like, how much do they cut out? It's minute 4 in the video. Like, let's say that they cut out half of the game, so it's like minute 8, and Jan over here with Adeptus is almost fully tagged up. It's 8 out of 10. As you can see, what is the spacing? Like, I had some fears from the aerial gameplay because like it was like minute 10 in the video, and Elliot was dropping Gorkanouts at minute 10, and that one didn't seem as edited. Maybe it's just because they are not aggressive enough and don't like bash each other and take away the resource points, but like, how aggressive can you be as a Necron? A slow moving grandpa who constantly needs to protect his lawn. Like, will the little skittle guys be enough to effectively counter your enemy's resource gathering? But I guess this will be like resolved. We will know about the balance where the game will be played by players, right? Right now it's just wild assumptions from this little dev show off, right? But it still makes me worried. I still can judge what I can see, right? Anyway, let's move forward.
Mac have a lot of stuff they can optimize and unlock, you know, and this means that all my
this can fuck off right into the wheelie bin. What is this, man? Why are we taking step back from DoW4 1? From the previous gameplay, I thought this was changed, because I heard from the leaked gameplays. I would never watch those. I was like, I'm a responsible internet citizen, and I reported this to the internet police, obviously, as everyone should. And from what I've heard, it looked like this too. Why this is not one icon? Like, as you can see,
Skitarii units,
he just clicks all 3. Because why wouldn't you? If you are upgrading them to be like effective against a different unit, you need them. You want them all to be. I mean, all, or as well in this case, like 3 of them maximum, be more effective against that unit, right? Like, I feel like this should be just one icon. Like, I feel like everyone will just take all 3 at the same time. Also, there is no point for them to be divided. Also, what the fuck is this shit? Add 5 more members to this unit. What are they, orcs? They are Adeptus Mechanicus. They should adapt mechanically to the battlefield. They should get better gear. They should get some skills, a grenade, a flashlight, faster legs. I don't know. But just add 5 more, that's weak AF. Don't you think? I hope that this will change. Maybe this is still some old version, right? The newer one is just more unstable. That often happens when they decide to like show off all the more stable version instead of the newest one because they don't know what kind of glitches can pop up. Like once again, they should be talking about it up front. By the way, previously I was talking about the leaked gameplay, and they had like a big leak like a month ago, I believe. Mostly it was some bug reports, but there was one gameplay between Adeptus Mechanicus and Orcs. I mean, from what I've heard, obviously I've never seen it. I just heard about it from others who didn't have any moral quandaries about watching this stuff. All right, wait a minute. I need to get back a little.
And this means that almost.
I don't know what those numbers mean anymore. Previously, in the previous gameplay, I was rather convinced, right? This is our pre-upgraded damage done to different unit types, something that they didn't talk about. But you can like deduct this from, you know, these little tidbits. But and I thought that the green one is how much damage you will do after you will get that weapon, right? So this is the minimum damage and this is the maximum damage. However, I look over here and what do I see? 52 to 44. Like that can be right. So either I don't know what those numbers are anymore, or maybe it is just an interface error. Because, well, the other thing that would point it towards an error is that this transuranic arquebus is supposed to be effective against vehicles. But what do we see here? What do we get? Plus 2 to 3 more damage to vehicles. Instead, it seems to be much more. Actually, not much more. It's just plus 4 to maximum. Then this must be this must be like 42 instead of 52. Yeah, that's probably it. Also, we can see the division between light infantry and heavy infantry, something that wasn't mentioned. But this should be here. I should be seeing it here. Not when I upgrade the weapon. Anyway, forward.
My Skitarii units, for example, now have better weapons and they can get more models into the unit.
Oh, wait.
For example, now have better weapons and they can.
Well, it's normal here. Cause range damage to all targets. Well, yeah, it does. A little bit. Kinda like the previous weapon, but this one at least isn't worked. Also, I don't exactly like it. I don't like the clear upgrades like that. Like in the previous gameplay with orcs and space marines, I've seen like you were upgrading them with burners, the flamethrowers, the orc boys, and they also had everything, every damage upgraded, right? And like, how is flamethrower more effective than their gun against vehicles? Like, shouldn't that be lower in that case? Shouldn't be like something for something, maybe? I don't know. This is this can always change, right? Okay.
Can get more models into the unit and
More
stuff
models,
like that.
yes.
So, you know, this is important to keep in mind basically to make sure all your units have the best stuff available.
Yeah, so you can tediously just have to click every unit and then every time 1, 2, 3, 4, and now them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now them, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go fucking mad. Are you serious? You can imagine playing like 10 matches in a row and had to do that stuff every time? Keybinds. I need to be able.
make sure all
to
your...
just click a keybind, maybe it's you, but then this doesn't seem like have any keybinds. Pressing U and then, I don't know, Shift Z, Shift X, Shift C to upgrade it all. But at the same time, it's like a long list with some units. There is a lot of choose from. So I have no idea how they will do that. But if they won't do anything with it, that will be so fucking annoying.
Units have the best stuff available.
Okay, so I've managed to teleport a whole bunch of warriors.
Wow. The phrase changed a lot from the Dawn of War 1, huh? I don't know why I stopped here.
Relatively close to the front line, so we're going to make use of that as soon as we've got this.
Yeah, see, here we can see one of the covers that they are not using. I wonder why.
Convergence of Dominion set up, essentially, which is a relatively cheap structure that allows us to quickly spread the power matrix.
Okay, I understand now why. I'm coming back to the... what was his name? Cryptic Spider? Why you need to sacrifice him? I mean, I still don't know why this should be available. Because what this allows you to do is make like forward posts with Necrons. Maybe this is the way they can be aggressive, actually. Yeah, I can believe that. So they have those little outposts that they can spawn in with the reserves, I guess. But how effective this actually will be, because you can only spawn your reserves. Like, will this be enough to like defend it? We will see. Assumptions.
It doesn't have a lot of other functionality, but that is its core functionality, and that will help us with this coming fight, as you can see here.
Right, and I let my commander, SecX23.
Yeah.
I order.
So as we can see, here we have the commander of the Adeptus Mechanicus, SecX23. Someone had to point this out, man. Someone had to be like, are you sure this is how we will name him? It's like, won't people make fun of it? And like, no. Why do you think so? Why would they do that? I'm a German. I have no sense of humor. What was I telling? Yes. So as we can see, here we finally can notice this bar being used. We can see the equipment of the unit that they are being attached to. We can see their equipment and their cohort. I still think that this could be done differently, you know. But okay.
Tell him to lead these units, and then I can give
Increase XP gain and reduces damage taken from attached units.
him.
Increases armor penetration for Sexic and attached units.
A couple of nice upgrades that basically...
I wanted to read the third one. Huh? Increases damage dealt and reduces damage taken by units within range of Sexic. Well, okay, so that works not only for the attached ones.
Make him and the unit a lot stronger.
Alright, so I anticipate that this fight is going to be
here we go.
a little bit tougher, so I'm going to go ahead and build some resurrection galleries in order to support any fallen units. When you lose units, you can have those be selected within a resurrection gallery, which restores that unit over time when it falls in battle, completely for free. So building plenty of resurrection galleries will really help to bolster your forces if you're losing a battle.
So this sounds pretty broken. I mean, it fits the team, it fits Necrons, but like, this is one of these ideas, like the free boys, when you have full war, as we saw in the previous gameplay, like, I feel like this might be a little bit broken, mate. speaking about the free boys, I feel like there will be just a certain time when the orcs will get the full WA, and then you will be just screwed, right? Because I think in orc player will build by now like 10 different barracks, and when the full WA will hit, they will just start spamming boys ad infinitum. So good luck with dealing with this tide of green. However, with this tide of green, we have immortal units. Yay! So the resurrection from the first Dawn of War is not back the way that it worked there. It was just the commander using a skill and then bringing back the units that died in a certain place. Which was a really wonky mechanic, if I have to be honest. So this feels like a much more better mechanic. However, with something like Necron Warriors, when we can see that they are effective at range, good versus most targets, you can just spam them. You can just have, as we will see, infinite wave of warriors. And that will be probably enough to win. At least they are limited to one type of unit, but I feel with like proper micro, with the proper ability to press R, I feel like you can have unlimited wave of Necrons coming at the enemy. Yeah, but we will see. We'll see when we will be able to play.
More of the selected units while one is already being resurrected speeds up that resurrection. So that really gives you that effect of a non-stop oncoming tidal wave of whatever units you want to choose to resurrect. But you have to choose wisely. You can only pick one at a time. So there we go.
I think I will choose Necron Warriors. Oh, you can see the full list of units here.
And we've got one right...
Like, once again, what the fuck is this menu? Whatever.
Here right now. So we're going to go ahead and set this other resurrection gallery for warriors as well. And we're going to start churning these out.
Good choice.
My user network is now at level 8.
Can't be. What is the time? Minute 6. I wish there was like an actual timer for the game. Maybe it's at the top here, covered up, to keep the continuity of the video or something. Maybe it's toggleable in the options, hopefully.
Really good, which means that I can now produce units a lot cheaper, which is already really good.
I like this. Hey, your guy is dying. How about running away? You need info like this. Like, I've seen someone was complaining about how big is the warning of being attacked. Like, it sends those circle waves across the whole minimap. Like, mate, you will miss it anyway. The only like warning that you wouldn't be able to not notice is if the game would slap you in the face, okay?
Which means that I can now produce units a lot cheaper, and also turrets and so on are more powerful. So I can now really build a lot of units for relatively little resources.
Okay, and while you're putting that all together and fighting, I'm just going to build more resurrection galleries. Try and keep the...
Holy Jesus. Oh, look how squished they all are. I'm guessing that it shows the resurrection gallery units, right? But I don't think that it has so many of them. Must be some interface bug. Also, why he has like... never mind.
Those warriors coming out.
I put all my units on auto-reinforce, which means that all the units are being, healed automatically, but it's also, a really big drain on my resources.
And we're gonna go ahead and do something a little bit sneaky.
Really big drain on my resources, being, healed automatically.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about it. I don't think this is a good addition to the gameplay. I didn't like it in Dawn of War 1, and I don't like it here. And neither did Relic, because they never in any game added this mechanic back. The auto-reinforcing. Why? It fucks up the pace of the battle. Because the dev said that you are turning this on when you really need to win certain battles. And I have one question. Which battles I don't want to win? Trick question, none of them. Okay? It's if you have the initial battle and you use this reinforcement and you win, it doesn't matter how much you paid. You will push the enemy back, you will gain the point, you will gain the resources back. Right? If not to win the game. So these auto reinforcements, first of all, I didn't notice.
But it's also, you know, a really big drain on my resources. My units on auto reinforce. Those warriors that all the units are being
whatever. Maybe we will notice this in a different scene, but we can see like any effect, I think, when they are reinforcing, so you don't even know that. You can just watch a battle, think, oh, I guess they are fine. I will move the camera over here and focus on this battle over here. And then you come back to that battle and realize, yo, guys lost. Why? Because the enemies were auto-reinforcing. And you didn't know that. What I'm trying to say is it removes the clarity of who will win in what situations. Because you always have to be worried that the enemy will pop the auto teleport the guys in and fuck up the whole battle. I don't even care about the lore side that they shouldn't be able to do that. You know, the teleportation ain't that easy in this universe. You're literally going to fucking hell if you are not Elda. So, you know, drop pods for Space Marines, they are fine, but what everyone else is doing? Like, thankfully, Necrons don't have that. They just naturally regenerate, they just get up from being dead. So, at least for them, that's accurate. But others? But as I've said, the most important part is the impact on the gameplay, and I don't think it will have positive one. Like, I know they want longer fights. This is actual reason for this to be in the game, but you can just do that with life, with health, right? I really think they should just remove this completely. I don't think they will do that, unfortunately, so I will have to rely on modders.
You know, healed automatically, but it's also, you know, a really big drain on my resources.
And we're gonna go ahead and do something a little bit sneaky, and hopefully
has plenty of
we can catch Yun off guard if we do so.
It's actually not easy for him to...
We can catch Yun off guard if we do so.
Mate, do you really need to do that? Because you can just take your units and make them walk around. I don't feel like it's like driving a car to the shop that is like 10 minutes away by foot. Come on, man.
It's actually not easy for him to do something sneaky and surprising, because what you can see here, these greenish blobs, they are the auger vision. So this is basically a way for AdMech players to see into the fog of war. It's a kind of heat.
So AdMech has war hacks. This will help them being the defensive faction for sure. If you always know from where the enemy will come, you know. Okay, it's another one of those ideas, cool on the paper, but will it be so cool when you will put it against like living player? Will they be cool with this? Okay, we'll see.
Map, you know, and you can see where enemy units are on the mini map and also in game. And this makes it very hard to surprise attack AdMech units, because
I feel like in game I can see with my eyes.
Warning where the enemy might be.
That's true, but with this amount of warriors here that I've got going on, I don't think I need too much.
Oh my god, it's the wave of warriors. Oh, this takes me back. Takes me back to places that I never wanted to return to.
Surprise. There we go.
Oh.
Okay, now a real fight's breaking out. We're throwing out the stratagems here. All right, and I've thrown a gravity pulse on you to hopefully...
Oh, that was effective. Right.
Soften up your army here. It's done quite a lot of damage to my warriors, but fortunately, they are already well on their way.
Like, insanely effective. Like, it wiped... How many units he had there? 6. 6 units basically melted to fucking 10 HP. Can we see how expensive this was?
Going on. I don't think I need too much
9.
surprise. There we go. Okay, now a
So
real
at
fight's
least-
breaking out.
At least it seems rather expensive.
We're throwing out the stratagems here.
But I feel like there should be more warning to it. Like a little bit of warning for the player to not lose like his whole army, you know?
All right, and I've thrown a gravity pulse on you to hopefully soften up your army here. It's done quite a lot of damage to my warriors, but fortunately...
Oh, wait a
they are-
minute.
it's done quite a lot of damage to my warriors, but to hopefully soften up your here.
Over here we can see how effective are the Necron turrets.
All right, and I've thrown a gravity pulse on you to hopefully soften up your army here. It's done quite
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot
sure
of
this
damage to
will
my
be very
warriors,
useful when
but
defending my
fortunately,
50
they are already well on
Dominion
their way
pylons.
to return. So we're actually going to go ahead and put another one down here. So yes, Augur Vision is indeed, for the Adeptus Mechanicus, is very effective for predicting troop movement. But with the ability to teleport, it might give me the upper hand I need.
Yeah, with how slow the Necrons are, it feels like the Adeptus Mechanicus were designed to just dab on the on the Necrons as much as they can. Jeez.
Because there is, I believe, like a very slight delay to Augur Vision, like when it gets updated. And so if you start seeing a big
Now here we could see this warning of the attack that I was talking before.
blotch of red coming around the corner, then it might already be too late for you.
Here we can see the use of the reserves and how they
Yeah,
come
that's
up.
true.
There we go.
I guess they would, if you just click this anywhere on the map, they would just come out of the closest, because I didn't see any,
Late for you.
or maybe, wait.
Blotch of red coming around the corner, then it
Ah, no, okay, I see it now. I don't know why it's square, but you can see the zone where you can actually drop those Necrons. Okay.
might already be too late for you.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go. In the meantime, while we're dealing with this encounter here, we're going to just further expand the power matrix, build a couple more sentry
I have a great idea. How about expand it away from the enemy forces? We still have space. Okay, but
pylons. Ah, well, now I think I may have you pinned here. Now we're coming from both ends. We're going to see how quickly that's going to go down. There we go. Okay, we're going to throw down a solar pulse.
reduce damage dealt by all enemy units and negate all cover for duration. Well, they don't have to worry about the cover.
Stratagem. That is Omnox's unique stratagem here, which should reduce
Cool, where is his second one?
the defenses of all enemy units on the field, and will also negate any cover.
Also, where is that Amrox?
Of course, Necrons, you know, don't require cover. Why? If you have no fear of death, then why should you ever use something like that? We're just gonna march forward, and we're gonna try and like push.
Oh, this is something they didn't talk about. There are explosives around maps, and as we can see, it explodes when damaged, deals area damage to everything. So that's pretty cool. Why did they didn't mention it?
Forward as far as we can. We're gonna see how long, whether Jan can deal with that or not. Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely now something I wanna hold.
I'm not gonna overanalyze every unit that we see on the screen, as you could notice by now. But like, here we have Cataphrone Breachers, right? They are effective at short range, good versus armor. What are you talking about? They have AP of 3. What armor? Do you mean vehicles? Once again, the numbers, Mason, the numbers.
So I put some auto reinforcements in here.
No way.
Just to make sure I don't lose the most important units.
You want to win this fight?
I'm gonna very gently start teching up here and trying to get some more effective units, because I'm starting to see here that you can now out-damage and
What you also should have done, Elliot, is take one of those warriors and right-click this position, then take another of your warriors, hold shift, click here, and then attack ground this position. I think so. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be judgmental like this. They're playing casually, basically.
Fell my warriors faster than I can regenerate them, so that means I'm going to have to move on to some slightly more effective tactics from here on out.
I think I retreat. Don't want to lose my commander. This is a lot of Necrons.
Yeah, I've this is a pretty strong tactic that I've found that Necrons can work with, but we'll see if it's enough to repel your attacks here.
I feel like he just needs some immortals, like those guys over here. I'm guessing they are still anti-vehicle unit.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, we're gonna throw a gravity pulse stratagem over here, soften up your forces.
Let's get out of the way. I have some resource problems here because
Oh, I'm glad you're doing this, because in the previous gameplay I had to calculate it myself, wondering if this is the actual revenue that we are getting, or just the income that we should be getting, and then I have to manually deduct this number from it, and then I will get the actual number that I'm getting. But no, this is the actual income we are getting, the green number over here. Okay.
As you can see, I have relatively high upkeep because my army is so big, and also when you control a lot of points, then each additional points you control gives you a little bit less resources. Then each additional points you control gives you a little bit less resources. Then each additional points you control gives you a little bit less resources. And
question: why? Why are you punishing the player for expanding? That's what they should be doing. They should expand. They should be fighting over points. And you are telling me you're taking away the reward from me? Because I have too many of them? I don't understand this decision at all.
And both of that combined... Oh, and I forgot to build generators here. All of that combined meant I did not have as much resources as I wanted to have. But now I have my stratagem back. So that is helpful. And also, I mean, his warriors are pretty good against a lot of things, but not against tanks, right? So these...
I feel if not for that airdrop, whatever it was, they probably wouldn't destroy those tanks with full HP. I feel like they have pretty good spam potential.
These guys can hopefully keep them away for a while.
Looks like I was able to repel the brunt of your force, but looks like it's going to take a little bit more. So I'm going to send in some wraiths here, using hyper phasing to get through obstacles and the like, and make sure that I don't get bogged down by melee, so I can just hit your unit straight on.
And then they instantly die.
Running well. Everything is relatively cheap now that my user network is big enough. But actually, let me make it even bigger, because even bigger means even cheaper units.
There we go.
Even bigger, even cheaper units. He's one phase from maximum. So I don't know how big else you want to make it, but now.
Okay,
I feel
I've
like this
got
should
one of
be
the
enough.
Necron endgame units out, which is
Well,
the
because
monolith.
it is, to be honest.
So we're gonna teleport this bad boy straight over here.
Yay,
Come and deal
monolith.
with your forces, and we're gonna start deploying.
I like this, that you can deploy the reserves on the monolith. As in the vein of DoW4, where you could just produce units from the monolith.
Units from it.
Once again, white is a square.
From reserve, same as we do with the tomb pylons. There we go. And then we're just going to move forward until we hit your headquarters. Get our Lich Guards out. Oh my goodness. They were just taken out by that Scorpius Disintegrator. We're going to have to take care of that. There we go. Ooh, that was a little bit too close. Probably shouldn't have done that.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When you see like the army being attacked like this, a little bit too many VFXs, right? A little bit too many fireworks, yeah? That kinda, I feel like the clarity is a little bit
That's a mistake on my part.
dying. Like, you literally got flashbanged like a second ago.
Oh, you got quite a few of these.
Obelisk got fucked.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's the nice thing with the AdMech.
Yeah, maybe you don't put your super unit up front. What was I supposed to say? The clarity. The Queen clarity, you always need to watch for the approval, right? As I've said before, RTS games are overwhelming, period. So you need to see what's going on, and the more visual effects you would pile up on during the battle, the less clear it becomes. And I feel like they are getting to a level that is a little bit worrisome in some of those scenes.
The AdMech really strong production capabilities, and so especially when you come close to my base, you know, then you better bring the goods.
Okay, well, I guess if you come for the king, you best not.
I feel like you shouldn't just throw them to their death, the Necron warriors, even if they will be resurrected. I feel like you can press A.
Miss, so I'm gonna give that another shot, but not to worry. In the meantime, while you've been dealing with that, I've been restoring my legion of warriors.
Yeah, but now actually I come into your territory and looking for convergence of Dominion, so if I destroy enough of those, he will have resource problems on his own.
That's very true. The
Once
Dominion
again,
or the
young
domain that a
with a
Necron
foreign
can set up
army.
can be very, very strong, but it is
Elliot with one
relatively
guy.
fragile internally. Like, if you don't have enough defenses from the center on, it can be quite vulnerable.
Oh, it's something that I've talked about previously, huh? That when you break through the outer shell, you get to the very soft and yummy yolk inside.
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't even have to break through, you can just move in, right?
Also, let's see what we can deploy here. Maybe some sort of surprise.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ah, no. This is going to be a problem.
I don't think so.
Oh my
think
god,
it's gonna be
it's
fun.
the special unit!
Oh, and all your nice resurrection galleries. Because, obviously,
Yeah, maybe
the
don't pile
resurrection
them up.
galleries here, each
It's a
one
lesson to
resurrects
get
one
from this
type of
video.
enemy, and so if I destroy all 3 of them, then 3 types of enemies won't come back anymore, which makes it a lot easier for me.
Okay, time to take care of this. We're gonna have to get rid of that knight.
Back
Anymore, which makes it a lot easier for me.
Okay, time to take care of this.
I don't exactly like how they pile up on each other, the units. I prefer if units in RTS game have more physicality to them, because once again, when they just like go into each other like that, that hurts the clarity, right? The queen frowns upon this behavior.
We're gonna have to get rid of that knight. Fortunately, I've already got another monolith out. We're just gonna teleport it as fast as we can. This is not looking great for out. We're just gonna teleport it as fast as we can.
Oh, here is your hero. Why we didn't see him on the field? I don't see Scorpec destroyers. Like maybe they come from a different building. I've seen them in like the tidbits from the intro, I think. Oh, we have a Shard of Catan. Wish we could see it in this gameplay. Well,
this is not looking great for me, but I still have a few cards up my sleeve, and we almost have that knight down.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll see if I can.
And he was talking how he doesn't have enough resources, mate.
There we go. Get a few Canoptic Doomstalkers out to try and tackle it.
Oh.
Long range armor piercing should do the trick.
Oh no, my knight. If only I had another one.
Ah, no, not for real. We're going to go
It's
ahead.
like War of the Worlds here.
Get a whole bunch generated. Oh, it's just a little too late for teleporting that out.
Yeah, the writing is on the wall, mate.
I unfortunately seem to have been hoisted by my own petard, having not enough defenses here. I very aggressively spread the power matrix, but I didn't have any other internal defenses here.
You don't say.
So, oh, this is going to be a problem. I'll just put one down now.
Yeah, Necrons actually have pretty good turrets, and the smaller ones, they can actually teleport, which makes them especially nasty because...
Also, if you would check now it's minute 15 at least in the video, if you would check now all their buildings, they will probably all have all the research done everywhere. That doesn't exactly sing big choices, right?
Basically, you can, you know, push them wherever you want them to go with your front, you know? So
I don't know if that max will help now.
There it is. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, now I'm in danger.
Those Scorpion destroyers?
Well, it was a significant back and forth, Jan, but it looks like this is going to be a pretty decisive victory for you. Well played.
Thank you.
Okay, so...
Yes, it should be the AdMech one.
As we can see also here at the victory screen, there is some achievements, I guess. We are working for. Achieve Nusphere Network Strength 10 at total of 10 times. Alright. Well, I hope it doesn't work like in DoW4 3. Let's go back for a moment also to the fight.
Until we hit your headquarters. Get our...
So like people are talking how I've seen at least some comments how it seems slower because, you know, the scale is bigger, the camera is set up higher, you know. I don't think so. I think the pace of the game is suffered a little compared to DoW4 3. By the way, a lot of people probably are frowning when they hear me mention it because, oh, what DoW4 3 never existed, and you just went to the DoW4 4 for some reason. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste under every video. Listen, I don't think it's a very healthy to hold a grudge against a digital toy for 10 fucking years, okay? I don't think this is a sign of a healthy mind. I don't think, for sure, not a sign of an adult mind, okay? You need to be like coroner, I guess is the word. You need to dissect the corpse and see which organs were healthy and which organs failed, okay? What can you transplant and what you can't. You need to be able to learn even from games that failed for one reason or another. Maybe I will make a video about it in future, who knows. Because if you won't be talking about it, you won't know why it failed and what was actually good about them, okay? And you won't be able to put that knowledge into future titles. Be objective, for fuck's sake. Oh, thank God I chose this frame. Because of the key binding fiasco, there was a really scary thought hovering in my mind. Because I haven't seen them use it. And as we can see now, there is a box around this unit, meaning they are in a control group. Oh, thank God. The control groups are actually real, okay? Because I don't know what I would do if that was not a mechanic in the game, you know, if such a basic thing that's not possible, right? Not having a key binding is also doesn't seem possible, but okay. I wish we could see the number of the group on all of the portraits, because you can scroll, you can miss, you know, the number. You cannot see it if you will scroll it to the right? And also it should be shown somewhere next to the icon of the units, yeah? Because through the whole gameplay I've never seen it once. But that's something to talk with the QLA division in the studio, if they exist or they will exist. Also looking at this unit now, push it forward a little.
Guards out. Oh my goodness.
Okay, never mind. I was supposed to say that maybe the AP3 on that breacher was actually high, because we don't know how it works, right? But now I see this guy and his plasma squad, and they have AP7. So I guess that theory can go and cramp itself. Anyway, all in all,
They were just taken out by that Scorpius disintegrator. We're gonna have to.
the spectacle is really nice, right? All the shooting, all the fighting. They are doing too much with the visual effects, though. That needs to be toned down. If not, I'm gonna tone it down manually in the options screen, right? Also, something. Let me find a proper scene. Maybe somewhere earlier.
Can work with.
Yeah. So when they are not selected, especially warriors, I mean those are all warriors, they kinda blur together with the floor, eh? Well, as one of the examples. I feel like I will have to paint them pink again. Oh no. But what can you do? It's all for the sake of knowing what's going on the fucking battlefield. Okay, a little additional annotation. I think they should resign from this type of foldable menu, because I'm afraid that the problem with keybinds is that there is a possibility to have both selected units and opened build menu, because you know, when you have this open, you can't use the same keybinds as you would be able for buildings, right? And for example, just put them on the grid from R How many of them is? 5. From the R to K, yeah? I mean, other than the retreat, that would be actually possible. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, okay? This is just my assumptions. But if this is a problem, just don't allow this. Don't allow to have both screens at the same time. That will be it. That will be the fix. Also, when you have build menu, have this open space, clear space, and when you just hover over the unit, have the description here instead of just this little thing. Also, I don't like how this just goes up and down all the time when you select different stuff. I feel like they just detach it and place it at the top or to the side, anywhere, or maybe just over here. Anything would be better than just me accidentally not clicking because the unit died and was deselected. That would make me want to break the keyboard probably in some stressful situations. Yeah, okay. So a little bit of a summary while you stare at the destruction of this monolith. I will buy the game. I will play the game. There is a plenty of good stuff in it. You can see a lot of work was being put in the game. I like that the units have experience, that they are level up, like in Dawn of War 2, something that Dawn of War 1 didn't have, if you can remember. That always puts more importance of keeping your units alive. It fits squad-based gameplay rather perfectly. I like that they try different mechanics with each faction to make them more special, as they should be. You know, with all the building. Orcs can build whenever they want. That's their special thing. Mechanicus needs to build to link up their buildings, and that makes them tech up. Actually, about orcs, I still don't know what makes their wall go up. Is it building in general? Is it killing? Is it building the war banner like it was in Dawn of War 3? I actually can tell from that gameplay. And in Necrons, you build to get the actual resources for your army. And then you have Space Marines who stand there like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force asking, what the fuck are our bonuses for building buildings? That's kind of weird. The only thing I've seen was about their building is that they are being constructed faster when they are near their HQ. But that doesn't mean much when you can just drop them on people, like that one bunker they showed. Like that was effective, despite not being placed on the around the HQ. Can you tower rush orcs with your space marines? And I know that people won't like this comparison, but I believe that this game is built on the skeleton of Dawn of War 3. You can see it with how there is an actual pressure on building your base forward, with how the units are designed, because there is no single models connected together in a squad. The squad has the same HP, the hell bar, right? You could see it in the previous gameplay video very clearly when there was this one orc squad running away, and the knob was getting shot like much more than the guy in front of him, and yet the guy in front of him died first, and then the knob, which also tells us that the leaders that you upgrade the squad with probably die last. A little detail, a little tidbit you might have not noticed. So it doesn't work like in Dawn of War 1 or 2. You can accept it or not, I don't know. It is what it is. I understand why they did that. It's because, you know, it's too random if you want to have a clear-cut gameplay. I'm saying that after all the other critique, because you can have those situations when your squad is shooting the other squad, and by divine choice, their squad, everyone actually is the damage is spread equally, so everyone goes no one is going down, while in your case, the god hates you, and the damage is focused on one by one unit, and you lose models, right? And that fucks you up. You need to pay for them. I'm guessing it also helps with the eternal nightmare of pathfinding, not gonna lie. That even might be the main reason. So they've built up upon this structure because this is a gameplay design that allows you to have bigger scope, you know, and just added up to that all the good things that people liked from previous two games. So you have this beautiful Frankenstein monster, I'm sorry. We will see how effective it will be in action. From what I've seen, however, the gameplay lacks the same dynamic the DoW4 had, as I've mentioned before. I like the speed of the units. I didn't like how the speed of how quickly they die, especially late game. I think the movement back and forth made the gameplay much more enjoyable. I don't like when the RTS games are the slogfest, okay? I don't want them to be microfest, and I don't want to look how one unit is going to the other side of the screen for half an hour, okay? Because it's fun. It's more fun when you have better control over the units and you see them zooming around. It's just that, okay? It might be just the players. They are playing casually, intentionally, so they don't put as much effort as so-called pro players would, yeah? I would really like if they showed off a match between like some esports celebrities or something, so we can basically see them stress test the gameplay. That would be very informative for me, for sure, and to a lot of other people. However, I'm worried that this game is primarily made for the loud crowd. The people who want the spectacle, the big armies just flashing, just shooting each other and tearing each other apart. They want to place buildings around, you know, recruit big armies, send big army, forget. And I feel like this might impact negatively the gameplay in the long term. I'm afraid that during the release, the multiplayer balance will be completely fucked. And we will have to wait some time for them to actually balance it out, or maybe even a very bad turn of events. We'll have to wait for modders to fix that. Because from everything I've seen so far, everything that I judged, to me, personally, my humble opinion, gameplay-wise alone, not including the whole content that they are planning for the game, like the gameplay, you know, in skirmish, player to player, I think it is like 7 out of 10. I will still like it, I bet, but we'll probably have to wait some time for it to get to a better place. That's what I'm afraid of. I wish I was wrong. I hope I'm wrong, as always, but too many times in my life, my name was Cassandra. I think this is it. So if you've made this far watching this video, I thank you for your time. I hope I didn't waste it, and hopefully see you in the next one. Diddly-doo!